Okay, today is December 3rd, and we have Lisa Foto with us. Lisa started with Sam and I September 2017. This is 2018, and you're still with us.
Yes.
If you saw her weight graph, it's exactly what we love, which is kind of the California earthquake, but in a downward trend, right? And continuing on that downward trend. I think we have to kind of go back to last September when you saw what Sam and I were doing, and why did you decide to come to that initial meeting?
Well, I had just been diagnosed with high blood pressure. I needed to be cleared for general anesthesia for a sinus surgery that I needed to have. And at that appointment to get cleared for surgery, they noticed that my blood pressure was dangerously high. And I was completely unaware. They asked me if I felt okay, and I said, yeah, I feel fine. They just said, well, we're going to go get another blood pressure cuff because
Exactly.
maybe it's broken.
Right.
So they came in back with a different cuff and took it again, and it was still high. And they go, you know what? We're going to take it with you sitting, and laying down and standing. And they did 3 more times in 3 different positions, and it was very high.
All right. And what happened?
He put me on medication, and I was at an urgent care to get cleared quickly for this surgery because I couldn't get into my regular doctor. And he just said, he wasn't in a position to monitor me for blood pressure. So I needed to get in to my regular doctor.
Right.
So I'm on daily medication that I'm hoping to get off of.
And did anybody say to you at that point in time, you need to change your lifestyle? You need to think about your weight. You need to think about exercise. Did anybody make that statement?
No, I made that statement.
Right, but no medical professional.
No. And when I went in to see my doctor, by the time I got into my regular doctor, I'd already had the sinus surgery and went in for a physical and just to get caught up with him. A lengthy appointment that included blood work and stuff. I had already been doing the program with you for, I think, 2 months. And I was systematically dropping weight already. So when I had that initial appointment with him, I showed him what I was doing, and he seemed good with everything, and he just said that I might be predisposed because my dad has high blood pressure that he's battled for
a little genetic,
a lot of his
predisposition,
life.
Can be
and
there.
He just said, you know what, we're going to approach this from you doing what you can do to change this, and we'll see how your body responds. But he said, you may be predisposed to this, and no matter what you do, you still have high blood pressure, which means you'll have to stay on medication.
So that's always an interesting concept because, a lot of people say, well, there's heart disease in my family or this or that in my family. It's like, well, let's take away all other factors and see that by changing lifestyle, right? But nobody wants to change the lifestyle. So
I'd already made that decision.
Before September of 2017, you had been on every kind of diet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Whatever was
I'd done
popular.
Advocare. I'd done Beachbody. I've done Weight Watchers a couple times, which works. But Weight Watchers, I just couldn't keep doing Weight Watchers.
Right. The concept of it works, which you can say that every diet works, is the fact that you lose weight. What doesn't work is the sustainability and, staying at that lower weight, whatever that happens to be, right? So why is this now different? Let's talk about just the food component of the Mama Gita lifestyle. As somebody who spent the majority of her life, struggling with her weight and looking for the fix, the magic pill.
Well,
potion.
I like to eat. I like to cook. I've taken
lots of cooking classes.
A lot of classes, way more than the average person.
Right.
I mean, I've done a beginning, intermediate, and advanced course at a cooking school.
Yeah, something you enjoyed.
Right. Just to hone my skills, and in the later classes, working on developing a repertoire of healthier recipes than just eating something because it tastes good.
Right, right.
So the other programs, oftentimes you're drinking a shake or
shakes or
right, and that's
restricting food groups.
Right. So then I couldn't
calories.
Yeah.
Right. Hungry, deprived, all of those things.
So that takes me out of the kitchen doing something that I really like to do, and
avoid the food and
right.
the cooking and the shopping and
right.
any thought of food.
And it's like, why can't there be a program where you eat real food? It's not in a packet. It's not a shake. It's not juicing. It's not a pill. It's just food. I can't imagine that society is going to go to, we eat our meals out of packets.
Yeah, like the astronauts. Right. Freeze-dried food. No,
because I wasn't interested in that.
Yeah. So, you found what we were doing. Really from the get-go, you never felt deprived.
No.
We actually made you eat food that you had restricted yourselves from, like those starches and grains that we talk about, the beautiful, all those,
I wasn't eating bread at all anymore.
Bread and potatoes and pastas and rice and blah, blah,
I wasn't drinking milk either.
Right, and God forbid, dairy and all of those things. So, your metabolism, we know, was kind of screwed because of all of that dieting, right?
Well,
starvation and all of those things. And then if we go back, right, to 2007, tell us quickly, because we have so much to talk about, what happened to you in 2007? Because you were exercising.
Yes.
Were you dieting at that point?
I was watching what I eat,
yeah,
and trying to increase my physical activity. And I was in a one-on-one personal training session with a trainer, and he had me in a head down position with those blue booties on, running on a whiteboard, because I was really aggressively trying to increase my cardio, because I had a horse at the time and was trying to ride for longer periods of time and not feel so winded before I had to stop. So I'd been working out with him for a year and a half. He trained my son when he was competitively swimming. So he was a long time, had become a friend of ours. And I collapsed during that workout, which pretty much devastated him, because it was a traumatic situation.
Sure.
I had a aneurysm in my brain that I didn't know that I had, and it ruptured during the workout. So I was delivered to the hospital and lay like this for 5 weeks in a coma. And I had to have a feeding tube inserted into my intestine to bypass my mouth for just food to keep me alive, while my brain healed, hopefully, and they could wean me off all of the medications and wake up. So after 5 weeks of laying immobile on a feeding tube, they did cut back the medications, and I woke up from the coma. It was traumatic.
Yeah.
I went from what I thought was perfect health to death almost.
Right.
Literally. I was at death's door when the ambulance delivered me to the ER.
Well, a lot of people don't survive aneurysms.
Right. It's 60% fatal to this day. And 40% who recover don't recover very well, because you stroke over and over and over in that recovery process, to the point you have numerous deficits. So the hospital I was at specializes in aneurysm care, and they helped me get through that healing process without having a stroke. So I did 3 more weeks in the acute rehab unit to get me to a point where I was safe enough to transition to going home, and I could take a safe shower, get myself to the toilet without falling, and could recover at home. Otherwise, I was going to have to go to a skilled nursing facility, which I did not want to do.
We don't want anybody to go there.
And they were making plans for me to go there. And when I was aware enough to hear what was being planned for me, I said, why am I going to a skilled nursing facility? Why can't I go home? They just said, well, you're not strong enough. And I go, well, what am I not doing that I can't do the program here at the hospital? I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Because I had fought to live. And I thought going to a skilled nursing facility, they're not always.
It's potentially your demise.
It could die there.
So let me say this about aneurysms. Most people don't know that they have an aneurysm. They either, like in Lisa's situation, the aneurysm bursts or starts bleeding or whatever occurs for that person, and it then becomes imminent. Some people die from it because they're not able to get to the hospital and get the care they need. Other people find out they have aneurysms because, maybe they're having sinus surgery or they have some kind of MRI, and then they see the aneurysm. Cousin Christy was one of those people. And for a lot of people, those aneurysms are very stable, and they're able to watch them with certain kinds of vascular MRIs and those type of things. You were unlucky, but you were also very lucky and blessed at the same time that they were able to take your very eminent situation and you were able to have a full recovery. Right. And so after all of those weeks and months, you now are somebody who is very malnourished, somebody who is extremely weak. And at that point, this was February, right, of 2007?
It was March. The aneurysm ruptured on March 20th of 2007.
Right. And so when did you feel like you were finally back to you in terms of, okay, I have to start. And see, the thing is, even in the hospital, you started advocating for yourself. And we talk about advocating all the time. If you don't advocate for you or have people that advocate for you or both,
it's decided for you.
It's a pretty dismal situation. So you advocated from the get-go. You got yourself home. You got yourself to that hospital rehabilitation outpatient. And so at what point did you feel like you kind of came back to life, a normal life, but now at this person who, needed to kind of completely figure out what their life was going to look like?
I don't know. It took a while. I couldn't drive. They took my driver's license away because I had 2 grand mal seizures in the emergency room the day I was admitted.
Right.
And when you have a situation where you lose consciousness, the doctor has to report you to the DMV, right, and you get your license suspended. So I was 8 months without my driver's license, having to walk everywhere or get somebody to take me and catch a ride, or wait till my husband would get home from work and take me. That was awful. Being dependent.
Right.
And it was just everything about my life was frustrating. And I just watched my weight climb and climb no matter what I did. I tried doing shakes. I did do Weight Watchers again, and that worked for a while, but I couldn't. It was so lacking in some of the other areas that I need to sustain and make a transition for a lifestyle change, that I couldn't keep doing it. So I would resort back to just not monitoring and just eating whatever I want to eat and taking classes for cooking, and who cares if it's healthy, because it's not working to restrict myself, so I might as well enjoy
yourself.
Right. And so I just kept climbing and climbing. And I did go to a nutritionist. She was not a registered dietitian, but she did give me some good nutritional information. But her way of eating, the portion sizes they were really small, and it seemed like not enough food. So you can do that for a while, but you can't keep
You're definitely
that.
missing out on life.
Right.
So in comes the Mama G lifestyle.
Right. And I had been watching you because I went through, we have a mutual friend, so I went through the Evan's death with watching, and I went to Evan's funeral, and I could see that you were very conscientious about what you ate. I didn't know the degree to all of this.
Right.
But I watched, because I was connected to you on Facebook, and I was just watching vicariously.
Right.
And you probably didn't even know when you would do the experiments. And I was like, having that argument with myself, like every morning, like, is today going to be the day that you try this? And I think at that point I was so fearful. It almost felt like this was my last resort. And if it didn't work, I didn't know what I was going to do.
Right.
So it's easier to not try it than it is to step into that circle of fear. Because what if?
Yeah, the old fear of failure. It's a real thing, and
and there's a lot of emotion of where I've been to come to that place and battling. I mean, and it's been a battle.
Right.
I mean, it's emotional for me.
Right.
Because I didn't want to be heavy.
Right.
I'm still heavier than I want to be. I'm at the weight now of when I had the aneurysm, and I was battling to lose weight. So, I mean, now I'm under doctor's care. I'm on high blood pressure medicine. I'm in this program, and I'm making great strides in the right direction. And he thinks that I'm probably going to be able to get off medicine, but I'm not off it yet.
Right.
But you know what? It was the kick in the butt that I needed to say, gosh, you've been at death's door. You gotta take this serious.
Yeah.
There's no joking around anymore. It's not 1 foot in and hokey pokey, 1 foot out. You gotta be all in, and you gotta do this.
Yeah. Well, we talk about it all the time, how, your car throws out warning signals, low tire, low gas, check engine, oil change, all of those things. And, eventually the car screams at you or stops working, and you go get it repaired, or God forbid you waited too long and then you have to get a new car. But, our human bodies are doing this. It's very easy to ignore going to a doctor, going to actually get the blood work or the tests that are recommended, following up with that information. And even people who have the diagnoses, right? Pre-diabetes, high blood pressure, diabetes, whatever the situations are, people ignore those warning signs, and they are potentially deadly, right? So we always talk about the fact that we are in an obesity pandemic worldwide, that over 60% of the population worldwide sit in the obese category, and that almost 40% of the worldwide population sit in the morbidly obese category, which means we are literally killing ourselves, right? We are causing lifestyle diseases, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, colorectal cancers by what we're putting in our mouths and how we're treating our body, right? The disrespect we're treating our body. So for you, Mama G's lifestyle really represented a whole body change, right? We talk about the goal. We are not a weight loss program. I can't reiterate, not a weight loss program. We are people hate it, right? A lifestyle program. Our goal for our clients, to live a long, healthy, independent life. Your goal, to live a long, healthy, independent life. Your goal is also to reach your weight goal, and you're getting there. But what people have to understand, especially people who are looking, desperate to lose weight, is if you're desperate to lose weight, you've probably been on every diet in the world. So in terms of what you've done to your metabolism, you've screwed yourself. So it takes time.
And feeding tube.
Right.
Really.
Oh, well,
my body was in starvation
losing
mode
muscle mass on a feeding
I
tube. Right. So point being is, it's everything. It's what you're putting in your mouth, learning to have that relationship with beautiful whole food, learning to shop and cook and enjoy every single morsel you put in your mouth. What a concept, being on a diet, not feeling deprived. And I mean, I can't even communicate more how the food aspect of it is paramount, but the movement, the calculated exercise. So you were exercising on your own. We didn't
I was just walking.
Yeah, we didn't really have Mama G's like it is today.
I was afraid to aggressively do anything,
right?
Because the last time I aggressively attempted anything, I ended up in a coma.
Right. So, but you have to, I mean, we all know that it was where that aneurysm.
Right. I was a ticking time bomb.
It just so happened you were in the gym.
Yes.
It was not the catalyst. It was you inevitably was going to happen. Now, did it push you over the edge? Sure, it could have.
Most certainly did.
Certainly, absolutely.
But luckily I was with somebody who knew me.
Yeah, and then you were with somebody.
Could get me to emergency help that's the right kind of help,
right,
to save my life.
Exactly.
And
so
they did that.
So as we're going through, the experiment, and you're, losing weight at a slow rate, not as quickly as other diets you had been on had given you, but the difference was with the food is that it was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It was something you could do anywhere, any place, anytime, on vacation, for the rest of your life.
I'm not looking to stop.
Right. So the food aspect of it, especially once somebody gets through that first couple weeks, right? Because I talk about it like math class.
Steep learning curve.
Really steep learning curve. But it's something new. Mark posted today on Facebook about it's like learning a new language. Like, man, it's rough, but kind of like once you kind of get into the swing of things, all of a sudden it becomes natural. But it does not happen overnight. I wish I could inject somebody with all of the information they need from the get-go, but it takes time to learn. And we talk about it kind of like math class. You have to go to class, you have to do the homework, and you have to be patient, right? And you have to practice. So after a couple of months, we knew that you felt a little more confident in yourself. You had, lost a little bit of weight. You were moving a little better because you were somebody who really could get down and up.
Right.
Like a normal person should.
Well, if I kneeled down on the floor, I couldn't stand back up.
Right.
My legs were that weak.
So then we talked about the fact that we needed to get you more active in a gym scenario. So we got you situated with Samantha B. We're lucky that she's local and that she was able to, get you in to her schedule. And it's been, the fitness really component has been life-changing.
Yes.
Because she met you where you were.
Yes.
As a very, very weak individual. And now, right, you're achieving one of your big goals. What was your big goal in terms of your fitness?
The first one is to snow ski again.
Right.
So we're going right after Christmas.
You and all the grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to go skiing. And you shouldn't have a concern in the world because you have such great overall body strength. You have gone from somebody who, really could barely take care of themselves to now being able to get out there with your kids, your adult kids, your grandkids, and live. Yeah. You're living, right? You're bike riding with your husband every weekend. You can do anything out there you want to do. You go for hikes. You're going to go snow skiing. I mean, what an opportunity to start to live again when you were really.
I was sitting on the bench.
Yeah, you were sitting. Yeah, you were warm. Not even warm in the bench. You were in the stands. I was
a bystander, which I didn't like being, but I didn't have a choice because I wasn't in condition to be in the game.
Yeah. So
I had to watch.
So one of the big things with Mama G's lifestyle and the fitness side of it is we are very calculated in that we don't allow you to run a marathon day one. Not that you could, but we really try to control people's desire to change immediately so that, number one, we avoid injury, right? We avoid burnout. We actually can get you to the point where you're excited at the progress you're making, right?
Right.
And then you get bored.
Yes.
So then the walking and the treadmill and the elliptical and all those things all of a sudden become easy. And then you make the comment to Samantha B, I'm bored with my cardio. And you're not bored anymore.
No.
Now you're doing things.
Well, she has a monthly calendar that she gives me.
Right. You're programming with your cardiovascular exercise.
And she's moving me towards more strength and more endurance and whatever.
Right.
And she sets it out on a monthly calendar of what I need to do.
And every day you have something to
different.
accomplish. It's different. It's always challenging. The great part is that the majority of the time, even though when you look at it before you do it and you think, oh, how am I going to do this? You actually can accomplish it,
but sometimes it's really hard.
But it's really exciting.
Yeah.
It's really exciting to watch from the sideline, the progression for you. And just to know that you're nowhere near at the finish line, which is a good thing.
Right.
We don't want to be at the finish line. We want to keep going. So it's very exciting. You have lost 40 pounds.
I might have 40 pounds.
When somebody realizes you go pick up 40 pounds, 20 pounds, 2 20-pound dumbbells,
it's a lot.
And you walk around the gym with that, you have to be cognizant of the stress that put on your body. You have to.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have people coming up to me saying they didn't even recognize that it was me.
Right.
And it's like, I see myself every day, so I don't see those
it's hard to
changes.
Right.
But I can kind of tell looking back at pictures, how I look is changing back to where I wanted to be to begin with,
right.
Which is very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not easy.
No.
It requires
This has been a battle. Like
it requires
battle.
Concerted effort.
Right.
Not with the food. The food really is great and enjoyable.
Yes.
And you don't feel deprived and you eat everything.
Yes.
And really once you've started to eat that real whole food, what were your foods like? What was your when you were feeling sad or when you wanted to celebrate? What were your foods?
Burger.
So In-N-Out Burger.
I loved a double.
Were you a sweet gal? Did you like this ice cream or cookie?
I do like ice cream, but it's not something that I have to have every day.
Right, but now if you want.
But if I want ice cream, I have it.
You can certainly have it. But that's the difference, is that you feel so good eating the food, real wholesome food, and that you don't have the cravings anymore, that you don't feel deprived. And it's something you could do forever. And the beauty is that actually when you meet that weight goal, guess what? You get to eat more.
Yeah.
Or you can actually
see some of the plates that other people are eating. That's like, I don't even know if I can eat that food.
Oh yeah, no, it's a struggle. It's a struggle.
A lot of food.
But it's really the whole composition of what we're talking about. Yes, we've kind of provided a nice game plan with the food. Like it's very calculated. You actually know what breakfast, lunch, and dinner kind of looks like.
Well, and
right?
I don't ever skip.
Yeah, and you have to eat.
I used to skip meals frequently, just either lack of time or I didn't have what I wanted to eat, so it's just easier not to eat.
Yeah, or to go get the quickie, or whatever.
Run the In-N-Out Burger.
Right. But so the food aspect of it, once somebody kind of buys in, right, to this concept of you've got to eat your food, there's no skipping meals, you've got to eat a certain amount of calories, you've got to eat certain food groups, right? So we're not limiting food groups, except we're limiting crap.
Well, I drink coffee. I love coffee. And I never put sugar in my coffee.
But your coffee
but
had?
My coffee had half and half in it. And I always told myself the little bit of half and half that I put in my coffee is not making me fat. So I wouldn't give it up. And in the very beginning, you just said, it's just not good to start your day off with a dose of saturated fat, cut it out. I'm like, but I don't want to cut it out because I want my coffee to taste good, because there's no point in drinking coffee if it's not good coffee and it doesn't taste good. So I wanted it. You had me try the 1% milk. So I started heating it and frothing it so that it was like a nice coffee when you go to a coffee house.
And making the beautiful Lisa Foto cup of coffee.
And it's delicious.
And it's cheaper than Starbucks.
It is.
And you enjoy it every single morning.
Every morning.
Every single morning. And that's the beauty of it. Your breakfast every day you love. You probably look forward to it like, I can't wait to get up and have my breakfast in the morning. And then a couple hours later it's snack time, or a couple hours later it's lunchtime. And once somebody buys in and they get out of their head, well, I heard that, I need to eat this food, or I heard this was healthy, or I heard we can't eat that, or
they said. I always ask people, who's they?
Who are they? Because
do you know them?
Those people, man, I want to punch them. So the food aspect of it's beautiful. You have, you learned to appreciate the exercise because you know how it's changed your life in terms of what you're capable of.
Opening the doors
at your age.
Right.
You are doing things at your age, which is what, 57?
I'm 59.
At 50.
I'll be 60.
Look at this face. You would never know it.
Next birthday, 60.
She's doing things at 60 that you didn't do when you were what age?
40.
Okay.
I mean,
So they say then 60 is the new 40. There you go. So point being is you bought in to the exercise. You have complained about it. You've talked about how you hate sweating. You don't talk about it too much anymore because we told her to cut it out.
I'm learning to enjoy the process.
Right.
Because if I don't enjoy the process when I arrive where I want to arrive, I'm not going to be happy there either.
Right.
And I want to be happy when I arrive at that place.
So that's the beauty of the training effect, because the training effect is real and you see the progression. It's like 1 month you're capable of this, and then 2 months later you're capable of this, and then next month you're capable of that. The same thing with the food aspect of it. You can eat Mama G approved food for yourself and you can enjoy it. You can feed it to your husband who enjoys it, and you can feed it to your entire family and your friends as well. So everybody enjoys the food, which is
and huge. They all notice
the change. Right.
And I think they can't believe that
you've stuck to it. Right.
I just said, because it's important to me.
Right.
And nothing's derailing me.
Right.
I mean, my kids, I have 2 kids that don't even live here. I went to visit my son and I didn't stay with him. We rented a Airbnb so I could have my own kitchen, so I could be in control of my food. When we stay at a hotel, we get a hotel that has a kitchen.
Right.
And
right.
My husband's like, don't you want to eat out? I'm like,
nope.
Not really.
I don't.
Why do I want to do that?
I don't. Yeah. No.
We can eat really good here.
My mom used to always say that. She said, I'd rather eat my own food. And my mother, I say the same thing. I'd rather eat my own food. But what we're not talking about with the Mama G lifestyle are the other components, the other 2 components I want to say. One is the support group we have. Yes. So we have a private Facebook page with people all over the country, really all over the world, who are working the program in their own way. Everybody's kind of in their own little space. We all eat the same thing, just different quantities and different choices, right, in terms of food groups, right?
You get ideas from other people.
And so the support group is
tremendous.
It's I don't even know what to say. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful tool to have. And then we have the education, right? Where Samantha B and I every Monday night, it's the psychological aspect of self-care, right? It's not a weight loss program. there's so much involved. There's so many ramifications tied to food, right? Because when you think about like when you're a kid and maybe go to the grandma's house or birthday parties and or when you were bad or and the food that came and went that's attached
kind
to
of rotates around food.
right. And the emotions attached to it and people carry that with them. And so you have to delve into it. We talk about being vulnerable and really kind of looking to attach your feelings to your food. There's so much research now we know between the brain and the gut. You get that feeling that, some people are called to when they get sad or mad or happy, that calls them to eat, has nothing to do with hunger. It calls them to eat certain comforting foods, and then vice versa. The people who get that, who can't eat, right? And so we have all those emotions that kind of bubble up within us, and they're real, and we have to think about them. So we work on things like SMART goals, things that are specific and measurable, and we give you tools like that. We challenge you to think every single week about some component of your life and where food and fitness and self-care comes in. And it's been a wonderful journey for Samantha and I, and we learn something new every week, and we continue to evolve the lifestyle. And then I think for you guys as well, especially the longer you're in it, you see the new people come in and you're able to share the wealth, right? Because I think one of the big things for us is you don't get to just say, well, Mama G said we can eat carbohydrates, right? I want you to say why you can eat carbohydrates, because it's your body's primary energy source, and that while we don't eat crappy carbohydrates, right, we get a plethora of nutrition from the vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and fiber and everything else fiber provides for us, or carbohydrates provide for us, not crappy carbs. So the education piece, you feel like, between the support and the education, not only from us, but from the group, I think seals the deal.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And if people can...
Well, and you see people that you relate to also, and you see people's progress, which is encouraging. I don't know. It kind of covers everything.
Yeah. So
it's been incredible for me.
That's the deal. Lisa Foto, teacher's pet.
I don't know about that.
Now I could say, ask Lisa, she'll tell you why. But point being, folks, is you can make the choice. What is that pivotal moment? I mean, Lisa had a tremendously huge pivotal moment. Still took her another 10 years to,
well, it was just
for us to come into your life.
I think it was a battle. And I kept thinking that it would turn around and change, and it wasn't changing, and gosh, when I went to the doctor and had high blood pressure and I was now over 200 pounds, which I was really worried about, is like, God, all my fears are coming true. And I'm just sitting here not addressing them because I'm afraid.
Right. And we call it the experiment for a reason. Because guess what? Whatever you were doing wasn't working, so we have to experiment. And
Christy was the catalyst, very instrumental, encouraging to me, because she was older than me.
Yep.
And she had some
practically
health issues,
20 years older than you.
Some serious health issues that were worse than me. And I just thought, gosh, if she can do this. And I just watched her decrease. She was like the incredible shrinking woman. And I just watched vicariously in the background.
Yeah.
And I was like, if she can do this, Lisa, you can do this.
Yeah.
Why are you not stepping in there and try? At least try.
Yeah.
So,
see, Cousin Christy, you are the catalyst for the Mama G's lifestyle existing today. Look at how many lives will be saved. And that's the thing, there's a point where you make a decision to change your life. And guess what? Mama G, Samantha B, and Lisa F are here to hold your hand through the process. And you know what Samantha B always says. Come on, Lisa. What does she say? You are. Think about Samantha B.
Better for the rest.
And Mama G always says, not about what you lose, folks, all about your gain. All right. You can find us www.mamagsLifestyle.com.